In the meantime, Aldi, now they've given big competition to Coles and Woolies, two sacred cows you could argue. Now they're looking at taking the axe to another sacred cow, the 38-hour working week. The German grocery chain has made a submission to the Productivity Commission. They've argued for extra powers to allow employees to work more than 38 hours a week. The Productivity Commission can't set working hours. This is part of an inquiry into the industrial relations system. This is Aldi's submission. So it does raise that question, is the 38-hour week still relevant? That's why I've asked for your calls. Do you work 38 hours? I'm talking about full-time work. Or is it past its use-by date? How many hours do you work a week? 96900 693 13 13 32. But just before that, I want to hear from Tony Sheldon, National Secretary of the Transport Workers Union, who's opposed to Aldi's submission, and he's on the line now. Tony, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Why are you opposed to the idea of changing these rules in the 38-hour week?
Well, I think, clearly, there's actually two things here, and that is that Aldi have said that they want people to work more than 38 hours, and as it stands at the moment, if you're a part-time or casual employee or a permanent employee, that your divisor, that is the hourly rate you get divided by your weekly wage, which is 38, and if it's divided by 40, then everyone loses out except Aldi. And when you look at Aldi, they're a very profitable company. They turn over $6 billion a year in Australia. The owners of the company, the two brothers, the German brothers that own the company, are worth $29 billion and are the richest people in Germany. But they've decided that their workforce has to pay for them to be richer.
Well, what's wrong with that? If people want to work longer hours and presumably get paid more for it, what's wrong with that?
Well, this is the thing. What Aldi was saying is that a combination of things. What Aldi has is two-thirds of their workforce are casual or part-time, which means that they've got casual jobs and part-time jobs that could give full-time hours, but they don't arrange it that way, the company, because they've decided that they prefer to have people on part-time work rather than whilst they're paying full-time bills. And secondly, Aldi, when it does come to, they want to avoid having to pay people overtime payments. They also, in the agreement they put forward, they've said that the workforce could have their hours chopped and changed at any given time at the will of the employer without any clear set of rules.
Even full-time employees? Even
full-time employees. And that was one of the reasons why both the Industrial Relations Commission and the full bench of the Industrial Relations Commission struck the agreement out. And what Aldi's saying is that we don't want to have rules that apply to us. We want flexibilities that, our $6 billion company can make hundreds of millions of dollars more, and it's all at the expense of the Australian public. And to me, that's inappropriate, and that's not the way that good business should operate, and it's not the way that Australian business should operate in Australia.
Well, Aldi's got 8,500 people work for Aldi just in Australia, and in their submission they say employees want to have guaranteed additional hours.
Well, this is the thing, that what the company was saying is what they're saying and what they're actually putting into the agreement are two different things. When you have billions of dollars, you can spend whatever you like. And you can certainly put any individual employee to argue with Aldi is taking on a Goliath. And what Aldi has said in their agreements and what the document they put forward that recently got knocked back was because they were proposing that they could take people in and out of any agreement. They could chop and change it between stores and the distribution centres. They can chop and change it for truck drivers at their whim. There was no set rules that would apply to the existing employees except at the whim of the employer. And as for paying for extra hours, we'd only be paying extra hours for permanent employees above 38 without paying them penalty payments and giving them due notice for family considerations, etc. And that's a system which is open to abuse. And Aldi's had a reputation of avoiding people from being able to hear from their elected representatives about what their rights are. They're a very aggressive company. They are very profitable. They are run by very rich people out of Germany, the richest brothers in that country, and they're determined to make sure that Australian families' conditions and rights and having a family life is destroyed. And the real question for all of us is to get the balance right. Aldi wants the balance completely one-sided in their favour, and to turn around and put the position forward.
We've got a lot of calls now, so I want to get to those, but very quickly, Tony, how many hours do you reckon you worked last week?
Well, I'm on a salary, and as a not-for-profit organisation, I've worked from anything from 60 and sometimes 70 hours in a week, and that's probably a bit like politicians and a bit like clergy of different faiths and a lot of NGOs that we're on salary arrangement. But when you're on hours and overtime and the flexibilities that are supposed to exist to make sure you've got a good family life, then that's something that everyone should have a right to.
Tony Sheldon from the Transport Workers Union, thank you.
Thanks very much.
Tony Sheldon talking about Aldi's ambition to scrap the 38-hour week. What do you reckon? I'm curious about what the standard working hour is now. Is there still such a thing? Remember when we were all heading towards a 35-hour week? Did anyone actually get there? 96900 693 13 13 32.